Okay. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
So a little bit about myself. My name is Paige Jennings. I am a Bartow native. I was born and raised in Cartersville. Have only moved away the past couple of years. I have a bachelor's degree in historic preservation, a bachelor's degree in history with certification in public history from Kennesaw State. And I have a master's degree from Georgia State in historic preservation. And I currently work in the preservation field, mostly doing community outreach.
What got you interested in this subject?
So what got me interested in cemetery preservation is simply I just always really liked cemeteries. My grandmother, who lived out in White, she actually lived right beside a cemetery. It was a churchyard, and so I would be out there a lot, just kind of playing around the cemetery. And I just really enjoyed going to, on just sorts of small trips with my family growing up, learning the history of cemeteries. I always found the history of them really neat. I originally really liked ghost stories and stuff like that, so that kind of transitioned me from ghost stories into more of just the histories of the cemeteries themselves, and then finally into cemetery preservation and the upkeep of the monuments. So yeah.
What is the most impactful or interesting thing you have found during the course of your research?
Most impactful thing or interesting thing during research. Okay, so the most impactful or interesting thing I think I've probably found in my research is probably just during my research of Oak Hill Cemetery. I think it's very fascinating just how large the cemetery is overall, and it really does show the growth of this city. I mean, going from the churchyard that originally was established as to eventually including so many different sections, reading the newspaper articles from the 1870s when the cemetery committee was created by the city of Cartersville to upkeep the cemetery, learning about when they were putting in the new roads, as well as seeing as the sections grew out, who was being buried in what areas. There's a whole section dedicated almost entirely to residents of ATCO, the American Textile Company neighborhood. So they actually purchased a very large plot of land in one of the sections of Oak Hill to serve as the final burial places for their residents and community members. So I thought that was really cool. But yeah, I think that's been the primary thing, is just learning about the growth of the city through the cemetery and how you can really track how far Cartersville has come just from the people who have been laid to rest and where they have been laid to rest at.